Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to today's live session. I'm very excited for the amazing conversation that we are going to have today because we have something very, very special to talk about. All this while, I think it's been more than 7 years since I have personally been writing on the internet now, exploring ideas, exploring concepts. And ever since then, since the dawn of the internet, one of the topics that has been the hot buzz has been building habits. It's the core tenet of a lot of the personal development stuff that you'll read. It's at the base of so many things that we learn and do, from neuroscience to psychology to all these other concepts. But even more than the scientific side of it, habits have a very real effect on the way we live every single day as human beings. And that's why I want to have this important discussion with you today, because the habits that we live by form the life and the quality that we have. The habits that we live by decide the standards that we have, and ultimately, they define the results that we get. And that's why knowing how to break, change, and create habits is the most important science, the most important skill that we can learn in our lives if we want to be successful and we want to reach to a level where our dreams are no longer dreams but actually a reality. And the way to make that happen in the easiest, the quickest way possible is what I'm here to share with you today, because I want you to get your breakthrough and I want you to have those experiences where you can create that best life for yourself. So I still remember one of the very first article that I'd ever written on the internet was titled "The Truth Behind Your Habits," and I think I wrote it in July 2019, almost 7 years ago now. And that article was, I still remember very precisely, 752 words, and that was the start of my career. Simple reason being, I started building a writing habit, an online writing habit specifically from that moment on. In 1.5 years, that single decision of writing a blog a week turned into a best selling book that made me a world record. And then that turned into a career as a speaker, coach, and trainer, which I'm building now, changing lives and helping people find their breakthroughs. So the crazy part of the story is it feels like such a full circle moment, because I started by writing about habits, then my life changed because I built a new habit. And today that's why I want to talk about habits again with another lens, though, not just about how to build new ones, but about the one fact that we often miss out on, which is the key to creating better habits, to creating a better life. And that key, my friends, is saying no. A lot of times, we are so focused on building a new habit that we forget to see the truth that actually we don't even need new habits sometimes. What we need to do is let go of the ones that are not serving us anymore, to let go of the ones that are becoming barriers in our growth, and to let go of the habits that are just comfortable but actually not so helpful. And of course, there are surface level habits that we talk about which fall into this category, like smoking or drinking or other harmful things that affect your health, your body, your mind in a negative way. Now, scrolling is one of those things. Watching too much Netflix, even reading too many books is also in that category. But oftentimes, these habits that we think of, right? They are the surface level physical action based addictions that we can see, and there our mind says, okay, cool. Yeah, I know I need to stop this. But when I say the key to building better habits is to say no and stop the ones that are not serving you, I don't just mean these surface level habits, I mean the deeper ones, where it's about the way you think, the way you believe, the way you feel, and how you're acting based on that. You see, when I started my blog, I'll give you this quick reference so you understand where I'm approaching this conversation from. I was a 12-year-old kid back then. And at that time, writing a blog was the most uncool thing that you could do. And my friends kind of mocked me for it. Some of them read and supported, but most of them like, he's a nerd. What is he even up to? And then when that was the case, I had a very easy choice to build another habit. And that habit was to fall into gaming and other things just like the rest of my classmates, just like the rest of the boys. And I'm not saying here gaming is bad. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't meant for me. That's what I know for sure. I would have done it out of fear of missing out. I would have done it out of a need for acceptance and approval. But honestly, I wouldn't have been happy there. I would have built that negative habit though, and what would have happened as a result was, rather than a blog, I would be spending my weekends gaming, talking to friends on the game, and all that stuff. And it would get me some belonging for some time, no doubt about it. But today, it wouldn't have gotten me to the place where I am at in my career. So, the way I built the writing habit was not by focusing on what do I need to say yes to. That's there. It's clear. Every one of us knows what to do. We don't have a shortage of information on what to do. The problem is these subtle and tiny negative habits that we may not even look at as negative habits, other ones blocking us and sucking away our time and energy that we can give to a better habit. Now, when we don't recognize this whole barrier that's there, when we don't see this truth that is these tiny things are the ones that are holding us back, then we end up into a dilemma. And the dilemma is we promise ourselves a lot of things. We say, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to build a new habit, and then I'm going to run at 5 a.m. in the morning, and then at 3 p.m. I'm going to meditate, and this and that. We make a whole list of a dream day in our heads, and then my dream day is never a reality. Why not? Not because you're incapable of it. Understand this very carefully. You have all the capability to live your dream day, to make your day super productive, to make them even better than what you're used to now. The problem is you are not saying no. You're saying yes to everything. You're saying yes to the comforts. You're not conscious about even the tiny habits that you are choosing to spend your time on. And that's where the key to success is. That's the key to habits that we never really talk about. We have all the steps for building new habits, but rarely, if ever, do we have the steps of even recognizing the wrong habits that are draining us in the first place. And for that, I want to give you a simple thought experiment. And the thought experiment is continuing from the discussion we had yesterday about social acceptance, about getting to the top rung, about how all of us have the power to break free from our limits. As a continuation to that, today I want to make it super practical and implementable for you. So, as you continue over into the weekend, you are able to create the best life for yourself no matter what. And it's actually practical, not just a theory, not just a nice to listen to video. So, my simple question is this: if you want to find out the habits you need to say no to first, and create space for the habits that you genuinely want to say yes to, ask yourself just one question. The question is, if I was no longer worried about how I would be perceived by the people I think are important, would I still choose the same things I'm choosing now? That's question number one. If it wouldn't matter how I'm perceived by the people I consider important, then would I still choose the same things that I'm choosing now? And the second thing is, if the actions that I'm doing now become very uncomfortable, would I still have a good enough reason to do them? I'll repeat the second question again. If the actions I'm doing now are uncomfortable, would I still have a good enough reason for doing them? And everything that doesn't fit the bill, a lot of times those are habits that may need to be cut out. No, I don't want to be here and give you a generic advice and say, okay, cut this out and remove this from your life. No, you are the judge of your life. You are experiencing the uniqueness that your experience holds. And I know you have the wisdom to make the right choice for yourself. My purpose here is to give you that guidance, is to give you that thinking lens so you can make the better choice for yourself and actually live the life of your dreams. So, when I have applied these questions to myself, right, here's what I've found. Let's take my writing and my blog journey as an example because that's the story we've been continuing here. I knew for a fact that if it didn't matter what my friends thought of me, I never even would think about playing games. I never even would think about, just the whole idea of it. Not again, not that games are wrong, just that I am someone who's not attuned to gaming. That's it. I am more attuned to literature and reading and books and all that. Even if it isn't popular, that's just what I love more. And now I come to the second thing. If my actions were to get uncomfortable, would I still have a good enough reason for doing them? For writing, the answer is a very clear yes. For distractions, or gaming, or watching too many movies, no. For listening to songs, oh, of course there is. I'm a big lover of music. As I think I told you in few like a month ago or something in a live. I don't remember now, but I think I gave that example. So, yes, I am clear on what habits I consciously want, and I'm absolutely clear what habits I don't want. Then my mind doesn't go there, my thoughts don't go there. Even if they do, I'm able to bring them back because I remind myself if this were to be uncomfortable, I wouldn't have any good enough reason to do it. But when it comes to writing, I don't experience writer's block. Earlier I did, now I don't. You know why? Because I have learned to walk into the resistance. I look at a page, I look at the blank cursor in front of me, and I'll be thinking, why is my mind so dry? Where are the ideas? And yet I won't quit. Yet I love that resistance. I love that pain. I love that, physical feeling. I don't know if this is the best way to describe it, but it's like a physical feeling inside my head of something expanding when an idea clicks or a neuron connects. I don't know what happens, but then the words start to flow on the page when I stick through with that resistance. So even if writing gets uncomfortable, do I still do it? Oh, yes, I do. I've had days, I remember when I was writing my book, I typed 12,000 words in a day, 20,000 words in a day. My hand would kind of pain. I wouldn't even pay attention to it because I would love it. I would do it. So, all the habits that you want to inculcate for your career, for your life, for your health, for your relationships, ask yourself these two questions. And if they fit the bill, keep going. Now, I may sound crazy here, but I really want you to understand this. And but when I'm saying this, I want you to make sure you're being honest with yourself. You're not lying to yourself. You're not justifying things to yourself. So, for example, if you can genuinely understand and prove that even something like smoking or drinking is helping you and is fitting the bill for these two things, then you don't have anything to justify to other people. Will you suffer the consequence of your choice? Of course you will. No doubt about it. But then, do you need to justify your choice to other people? No, because you are clear about it. So, what I'm giving you here is not a moral lens because a moral lecture on habits doesn't help anybody. If it did, today we wouldn't have the kind of negative habits and addictions that plague our world. It's simple as that. People will do what they feel like they need to do, what they feel like they want to do. What these two questions are doing is they're bringing you in alignment to what's the highest good for you. Now, for me, all these things like partying, gaming, smoking, drinking, it's a clear no for me. Even if it's comfortable, I'm not going to do it because I value my health, my body, my time way more than any of those temporary pleasures. That's my personal stance. And I stand by it, I stick by it, and I'm clear. And because I'm clear, do I need to worry about it? Do I need to spend time deciding about it? Is it on my mind? No, it isn't. Just because I have built that clarity with these two simple questions. So here's what I want you to take from this, okay? Stop trying to build a new habit. First of all, just stop doing that. And then, second, do a habit audit. Even the smallest actions you do on repeat with these two questions. And see what is serving me, what is not serving me, what is helping me, what is not helping me. And as long as those answers are clear to you, my friend, take it up, go forward. And then, when you remove that from your life, you naturally have space for the things you want to create. And then making new habits feels effortless. Like, my logic is simple. You cannot, like, if there's a plot, let's say, and you want to build something on that plot, but there's already a building there. Without demolishing the old building, you cannot build a new one. You cannot construct something different if the old structure is still not demolished. With our habits, the reason we struggle and face so much resistance and face so much problem and challenges is simple. We are so tied up in the fact that you want to build something new, something new, something new, something new, that we forget to take a look at what's actually holding us back if anything is already constructed. So learn to say no to yourself, learn to set those standards for yourself, use these two questions, and use this habit hack to completely transform your life. Because the moment you say no, you create space for the things that truly matter. Now, is it going to be easy? Not at all. But is it going to be worth it? 100%. So take tonight, take the weekend to reflect, to think, to understand, to learn. And the more you do that, the more you succeed, the better you get, and the more peaceful your life becomes. Because rather than just chasing what people are telling you you should chase, you actually start living the life of your dreams. This is the quickest way to get there. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you so much for listening to the conversation. I hope it was valuable. And I'll see you once again on Monday at the same time, that is 8:30 p.m. IST. Bye. See you soon.